So this is how I increased this brand's top line revenue by 58% while maintaining all the efficiency targets like AMER, profit margin, and CAC. And all this in a relatively short period, around 3 to 4 weeks, by leveraging three core pillars that we're going to be talking about today. With that said, let's dive into it.
So here is a screenshot of the results as well on Triple Whale. Revenue is up around 57%, while all the other efficiency targets maintain relatively the same levels. Some actually improved, as you can see. MER actually dropped by around 7%, and obviously we did scale spend quite significantly, which we could do once we had obviously those very, very stable foundations. And it's really down to three main components in terms of kind of a strategy. There is the account structure, the creative strategy, and then the business strategy. Now, like I said, this was done relatively quickly. So the biggest levers that I pulled, it was first around business strategy. So I basically sit down with the founder and took a look at the marketing calendar, and just bear in mind this is a brand that was very meta heavy. It was more like an activewear brand. So we had two main key sales events coming on. We had the Easter sale and the Mother's Day. So we took leverage of those two kind of sales events, and that really helped a lot in terms of like scaling spend, scaling results, scaling revenue, while also maintaining those efficiency targets. And then the offers. So there was a specific offer here, which was a BOG offer, or buy one get one free offer in the front end, which really helped drive new customer acquisition. The brand was actually profitable, but again, that was mainly just for Meta. So on Google and other kind of sources, it was just the regular one-time offer or one leg in, basically. So for the other channels, it was basically just the standalone offer, just one leg in, where if you saw that through an ad and you are basically in the front end, you could get two leggings for the price of one. So that was a very, very compelling offer that we also leveraged. Now, after having this down, it was time for the creative strategy. And again, the account structure pretty much goes hand in hand here. And the main key levers that we kind of pulled here from a creative messaging perspective, there was a lot of bottom funnel messaging around mainly product and problem aware segments of the audience. So we tried to leverage some of those more top funnel messaging around founder-led story ads, weight loss angles, all through UGC and through video content, basically, which is much more effective in top of funnel. And also we did a bit of a research on Reddit, Google, come up with new ideas, and there was some interesting kind of findings there. But obviously the main core demo here was around 40 plus women, and a lot of it was also women who were on some kind of pharmaceutical substance like Ozempic or GLP-1 basically. And the main pain point there is the rebound effect, or basically they gain a lot of weight after stopping the injection. So that was an angle that we leveraged and actually did very, very well. Now, the main point of it is do your research and come up with new ideas. And again, at the same time, just double down on what has already been working and start optimizing from those formats. So that's what we did exactly. We also leveraged those statics that did very well. We obviously have more relevant statics around Mother's Day and Easter sale. But also, again, just did a lot of message testing through statics. Now, in terms of the account structure, again, there was a lot of poor management there, and most of the spend was stuck in learning. So around 60% of the spend was stuck in learning. So easy, quick wins that I did here is allocating more budget efficiently across the campaigns and really consolidated across one core Advantage Plus shopping campaign and one testing campaign. So they really allow me to gather as much data as possible in the kind of shortest amount of time and kick off that data-led creative feedback process, basically. Now, the other thing, like I've mentioned, the ad account was over-indexing static content and therefore bottom funnel messaging, which really prevented us from reaching new customers. So again, we leveraged video content, UGC drive new customer growth. There was a new creative director coming in as well, which really helped with the process and pumping out more volume and obviously leading that outreach piece. And again, we introduced also a creative testing campaign. So the brand was spending around roughly 50K a month. So it was time for a dedicated creative testing campaign where we isolated all the creative learnings and we allow cohort-based testing. It basically means we did our test in a very scientific way. So basically we were hypothesizing on an ad set level. So for example, let's say that we have 10 different ads. We try to kind of sort these 10 or like 15 ads by very specific creative learning that we could isolate. For example, that may be the hook, that may be the overall angle, or there might be the overall kind of style of creative. So for example, we could probably split test angle 1 versus angle 2, or maybe statics versus videos. So again, we try to make one specific creative call out, kind of learning based on a cohort-based testing. And as this progresses, it can be more specific around personas or different people basically that we try to kind of reach. So having this separate creative testing campaign in an ABO setup, which means basically that we distribute spend on each ad set, we manage to control spend and allocate spend more efficiently, and therefore led to a faster data creative feedback loop. And we scaled spend up to 8K a day in key sales periods to help generate cash for the business, and that was very, very efficient as you saw. But again, you can see there's a combination of all these factors, and this really never stops from a creative strategy perspective as well. So there was new net iterations based on the feedback and based on the kind of data, and then there was net new content as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, if you're dealing with maybe revenue stalling or maybe stagnating over a certain period of time, take a look at from a like overarching perspective, the creative strategy and the business strategy first, and obviously if you do any kind of major flags from an account structure, but see how you can obviously unlock different sales events in the marketing calendar and in the marketing calendar year basically to get more cash on non-key sales periods. So maybe it's not like always Black Friday, it's not always maybe Q1 if you're like a health brand, but there are periods that are obviously slower that we can leverage through different kind of sales events. And then the creative will be your biggest lever from a paid social perspective to push, get new customers in and grow your business basically. That was pretty much it. Hope you really enjoyed, and yeah, thanks a lot.